Welcome back to another video, and we are talking transfers yet again, and we're talking about the same transfer that I think everyone is talking about at Manchester United at this moment in time, and I've been talking about as well. There hasn't been a lot of else talk in the media and in the press. There has been some, but the majority of it has been of Jadon Sancho, just constantly going on and on about Jadon Sancho. And it did look, since the last video I'd done talking about Jadon Sancho, it did look like Manchester United were getting the deal pretty much done. And whereas Manchester United have got an agreement in place with Jadon Sancho, it does seem that he has agreed a contract and the agent's been agreed terms with Manchester United to sign the player. Manchester United are yet to get an agreement over the fee of Jadon Sancho, which a lot of top tier journalists are coming out saying that Manchester United have yet to agree the fee for Jadon Sancho. Some are saying that they still feel that the deal will get done. Some people in terms of on Sky Sports, on BT Sport, think the deal will still get done and Manchester United will pay the fee. Personally, I think Manchester United probably will come to a compromise with this. In the past, as I've said, we've paid big money. I mean, we left it all summer and we didn't get Bruno Fernandes, and then Manchester United did get Bruno Fernandes in January, which we left it far too long. If we'd got Bruno Fernandes in last summer, how much better would Manchester United have been this season? We could have been a lot closer to Manchester City in the Premier League table if we hadn't had that horrendous start, and maybe bringing Bruno Fernandes in last summer would have made a massive difference in that. We really don't know. Obviously, we're only speculating on how things could have gone, but if Manchester United haven't fucked around, and you're looking at other clubs, Man City have got deals done. You're looking at Chelsea, they've got deals done already. The likes of Timo Werner have come into Chelsea already, and Manchester United just wait and wait to get the players. We waited with Harry Maguire last summer, and then we paid the fucking 80 million quid for the geezer, and we done the pretty much fucked around with the Wan-Bissaka one and ended up paying the 50 million that Crystal Palace wanted in the end. And I believe that Manchester United probably will just pay the 108 million that Borussia Dortmund want for Sanchez. Now, it was a bit interesting. A lot of people are losing their shit today because Sanchez has played in a friendly game. He played half the game for Borussia Dortmund in their 6-0 win against an Australian, I think they're Australian side. And from what I see from the clips, he did miss a very, very good opportunity. And people are saying he's got his head set on Manchester United. Afterwards, he's come out and said that he's happy playing for Dortmund and all this bullshit. But you're not really expecting him to come out at this moment in time to say that he wants to join Manchester United, are you? I mean, some players will do that when they really want to go, but at this moment in time, he probably doesn't know if the transfer is going to go through or not, so he's got to be cool on what he says, because he can't come out and say, look, I don't want to play for Dortmund next season, I just want to go to Manchester United, and then the transfer falls through and he's stuck at Dortmund for another season, which will be a bit awkward. Now, their director come out the other day and said that there's no way Sancho is leaving Borussia Dortmund, but what the fuck are you expecting the bloke to say? Oh yeah, we want to sell Sancho. No way they're going to come out and say he's going to come out and say that, because they do want to sell him for the right price. That is it. The 108 million, they will sell him for that. Obviously, they don't really want to sell him because he's probably their second best player in the squad behind Erling Haaland, but they will sell him for that price, for 108 million quid, which is a lot of money. But you look at other transfers out there that have gone. I mean, this guy's 20 years old, and where people were saying that he's got to prove himself in the Premier League, that the guy's got a lot of goals and a lot of assists for Borussia Dortmund, and if he can recreate half that amount for Manchester United at this moment in time, he could still be one hell of a player for Manchester United, because he could be that difference between Manchester United being third, fourth position and potentially challenging for the league, because Manchester United will have a lot more squad depth. Could potentially be that guy. I mean, Bruno Fernandes has been the guy to take Manchester United from like 5th, 6th position up into the 4th position. Now we need to get some more better players in to get us over that line into from the 3rd, 4th position to challenging Man City and Liverpool for that 1st and 2nd position, which closing that gap is going to be hard, but this would be an extra step in that process. And for 108 million for a guy who's 20 years of age, that is good business for me, considering you look at how much they paid for Philippe Coutinho when he went to Barcelona, for Ousmane Dembele who went to Barcelona. We've seen other players like Eden Hazard go for, what, about 130 million, and he scored one fucking goal this season. I mean, Jesus Christ, He turned up to Real Madrid fat as fuck after the summer, was eating all the pies with probably the salary he was on, and just got injured and all shit like that. And he's 28. It was 28 years old, I think, when Real Madrid bought him. So that's 8 years older than what Sancho will be if Manchester United buy him now. And even if he's average or maybe slightly above average, we've still got the chance of selling him on for still a decent amount of money, which, like when we bought Memphis Depay, we still managed to sell him on, and he's gone on to rectify his career elsewhere. But if Manchester United buy them young like that, then you've always got the chance of selling them on for an amount of money that is feasible. Even if you do lose a bit of money, you're still not going to lose, because if you buy someone that's 28, 29, like we've done in the past, then there's no sell-on fee. We got lucky with Robin van Persie because he had that ridiculously good season for Manchester United, helped us win the Premier League. But if he hadn't had that great season, then he could well have been a flop for Manchester United, because you're getting into your 30s, you're starting to pick up more injuries, and a lot of players don't tend to perform at their best in their 30s. They're usually, their peak is between sort of 27 to 29 to 30, and I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cristiano Ronaldo are absolute freaks of the game that are still performing at the highest level at that age. Not many players do, and if you do that, I mean, you're looking at Eden Hazard, who's had a pretty stinking season for Real Madrid. If he has another stinking season next year, then pretty much he was a waste of money for Real Madrid, because he's going to be in his 30s then, and they're probably not going to recruit more than about 50, 60 million for him, and they will have lost a hell of a lot of money on him. Like Coutinho, I mean, you think the amount of money Barcelona paid for Coutinho, that was ridiculous money, and you're paying this sort of money for a guy who's 20 years of age. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer, it really is. And I think he is an absolute quality player, and it's evident in that game the other night against Copenhagen, which I've said so many times, that Manchester United were struggling to bring players onto the pitch. I mean, Greenwood shouldn't have been substituted. It should have been Rashford who come off the pitch, because he was a lot worse than Greenwood. But either player coming off, you're bringing, okay, Juan Mata helped win the game, but they're the sort of players that you're bringing on. 31, 32-year-old Juan Mata. He didn't even bring on Dan James. I don't think he fancies Dan James anymore. He seems to not be bringing him off the bench that much. He doesn't seem to fancy the likes of Tae Chong, who could potentially have come off the substitutes bench, who's going to probably go out on loan. And the other options are just Pereira, shocking. Doesn't seem to fancy Agallo too much, and he plays down the middle, and we really need someone on the right-hand side. So the options are just not great, and this will take Manchester United to another level. I'm sure of it. We've got to get this deal done, I think. I'm still confident that we will get this deal over the line. I'm still pretty confident at this moment in time. But I mean, Manchester United have dragged transfers on and on these last few years, so I'm expecting this to be dragged on. It's not probably going to end for another few weeks. I thought before maybe Manchester United would get this deal done. Me being a bit fucking stupid, maybe thinking it was going to get done early, because Manchester United never get these transfers fucking done early, do we? But the agreement is there. Sancho does want to come to Manchester United. Let's get that clear. He wants to come back to the Premier League anyway. Whether it's definitely Manchester United he wants to come to, he probably Manchester United are going in the right direction. So good move for him. And yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get a game, obviously, as we say, from the start. Whereas if he goes to a Liverpool or somewhere, he probably wouldn't. But Manchester United are the only ones that probably will be crazy enough to pay this sort of fee at this moment in time anyway. But I think it will get done. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to move on to other options. It is reported that if it doesn't get done, then Solskjaer will leave this type of transfer and not go for a Kingsley Coman or someone else, a Costa or someone, Douglas Costa, that's being taught about for Manchester United, because them sort of players are going to be downgrades if Manchester United sign them. They're not better for me than Mason Greenwood. And I mean, Sancho is probably a level ahead of Mason Greenwood at this moment, or certainly at the. I mean, recently Mason Greenwood's probably been at a better level than Jadon Sancho since the lockdown, yes. But over the whole season, obviously, Sancho's been at a better level than Mason Greenwood. But obviously, he's 2 years older, and this is Mason Greenwood's first full season at Manchester United. So he's probably got a much higher ceiling than Sancho. But with the other two players mentioned, they're downgrades to me on Mason Greenwood. They're not better than Mason Greenwood, even at this age. That Mason Greenwood is at 18 years of age, and they're experienced players that have been playing for a while, and they're downgrades for me. So I want a player that's going to come in and at least be at the same level as the likes of Rashford, Greenwood and Martial, so that the levels don't drop too much when you exchange player for player, like we've seen with Man City. They can put in David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez, Sterling, whoever, and the levels don't drop massively. They're still world-class players in my opinion. Maybe some are slightly better than others, obviously you're going to get that, and you can't swap Aguero out and bring Gabriel Jesus in and you're having the same player. But Gabriel Jesus has scored like 20 odd goals for Man City this season, and you bring him off the substitutes bench, which is like, wow, if you're bringing Jadon Sancho off the substitutes bench, 20 goal season, a player who scored 20 odd goals in the season, I mean, Jesus, and then you're bringing Mason Greenwood in, it is crazy. I mean, to think that you could be able to do that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I think the transfer will get done for Manchester United. Let me know your thoughts. If it doesn't, do you think we should go for a cheaper option, or just wait maybe till January or next summer, which will be a kick in the nuts, because we really need to get this done. Ed Woodward, I think you need to fucking get your finger out and get this transfer done, because you fucked around too many summers in getting transfers done early, and it's cost Manchester United, it has, because we need to move on to other signings. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Like the video, share the video if you're watching it on Facebook, and do subscribe to All Things Man United on YouTube if you're not, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.